live. Hi, everyone. It's me, Rachel, and I am joined with Jen Hoffman. Hi, Jen Hoffman. Woo! We are excited that you could join us. We're here. Apparently, I tweeted out the wrong link, so I apologize. But I am getting that all correct. It's youtube.com/aftershow. Is that what it is, Jen?
Yes, it's just after show. Someone else has reality after show. So for the past 2 weeks, Rachel and I both have been writing reality after show.
Yeah.
We don't know that dude. It's just
I don't know that person.
at after show. So youtube.com/after show.
After show.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, we got it now. We're figured out. And thank you to everyone who's here. We have some chats already. Eric Holmes said, woohoo, Eric Holmes. We're so happy you're here. And Hannah Horn said, hi, Rachel, Stephanie, and Jen. What do we think of the Traitors 3-season cast? Yes, this is what we are here to talk about today, Hannah. We're really excited to talk about it. And let's see.
I'm sitting here correcting some links while we talk.
Okay, perfect. I did that as well. So I will start off by saying today we are going to talk about The Bachelorette. We're going to talk about the Traitors 3 cast announcement, and we are going to talk about the new Love Island cast announcement. And because I am in the reality TV business, I work in casting. Jen and I have both been on reality television. I've been on numerous shows for anyone that is new to the channel or new to this. But I also work in casting. I work in production. Jen has also worked in casting and production. So we're here to talk about the business of reality TV. Oh, James Wallington, hi. Thank you for joining us. Yay. James also works in casting and reality TV. So we found a story this week. We'll get to it. We'll wait for the cast announcement until Stephanie gets here. And since our good friend James is in the chat. All right. So there was a story this week, Jen, that reality TV is dead. I'm showing the little thing. Why is reality TV on life support? And this was a story that came out in the Hollywood Reporter. Basically, there's a group of reality TV people that work in casting and production, and they've been saying they haven't been working for a few months. They're saying that there's less shows, less opportunities now with all these streaming networks. I know I personally haven't actually worked in casting for about 3 weeks, which is kind of crazy for me. Since 2016, I've been working nonstop in casting, and I've actually never taken a break. I was even working last year over Christmas and the Christmas before. So I have not taken a break. And this is the first time for me in a long time that I've been working this much. I know same thing with James. I know he's been working nonstop in reality. And I think that right now it's just kind of been a little bit slow, which is kind of crazy. We have a lot of comments about this. What are your thoughts on this, Jen?
Okay. So, all right, if we're talking about reality TV and the casting being slow, I need to fix my light because I look like I'm in the dark and you look like I'm like, hold up. So how many people can see me better? Okay.
James Wallington said there's a lull for sure. And Andrew Rodriguez said, I wonder if there's also less applicants due to the postseason harassment many contestants publicly face. Okay, well, that is, Andrew, that's a great statement. And that's actually something that Jen and I are going to cover next week on the after show. But this week on the after show, we're just kind of talking about the business
Right. We're starting out by talking about, there was an article, and there's been a few articles, is reality TV dead? They expected, because of the strike, for it to have picked up, and it didn't. But Eric Holmes just asked, I have a question. Why aren't there more sports teams reality show? And this is kind of goes to the point. Things are niched down a lot now. So there's a lot more of like, I'm into this, so I get my content specifically from here. That's why social media and content creators are doing so well and getting more views on one post than some reality television shows from major networks are getting on one episode or even a whole season. Literally one post on YouTube, one Instagram reel, one TikTok reel can trounce, have thousands, millions more views than an entire season of reality TV, which is time consuming, takes a lot to cast, takes a lot to produce. So because things are niched down, like maybe you care about politics, maybe you care about sports, like Eric's question, maybe you care only about competition shows. So that's one reason. Another reason is because it's expensive, like I was saying, to create new shows. So they're recycling a lot of old IP. That's why we have like intellectual property. So that's why you have Deal or Deal now, but put it on an island. And that's why you have continuation and additional Real Housewives franchises. Like they were like, let's add Dubai. That's why you have a show like when you have the creator of Love is
The Mole. The Mole came back.
Yeah, The Mole came back. Big Brother is getting more promotion. Survivor, those old school shows you're starting to see get more promotion. They're being shared also to Netflix instead of just on either, CBS's app or Paramount or whatever they have. They're recycling a lot of the old IP, and they're also consolidating and making sister shows to things. So you have Big Brother, and then they had
like some spin-offs. The Reindeer Games.
What was the spin-off that Brittany Hayes and a bunch of
Reindeer Games?
Yeah, they have that, and then they have so you have MTV had Real World. Now there's the Challenge. All the CBS people can go on, and that's IP they already own. They don't need to pay executive producers and executives at any network to do that. So that's one reason. Another reason is that let me get into the comedy thing. Another reason why reality is struggling a little bit right now, which I don't think it is. If you look at the Traitors was huge, and it is new, although it already is kind of recycled IP because it was in the UK and England. They proved with the concept, then they made it huge. So it seems like they're going all in on things that they'll know work. They can make global, so they can have a UK and a US, an American one, and then they can make like cinematic and global and big instead of just kind of like the random reality shows when they used to throw spaghetti at the air. I mean, I've had 5 different reality shows as in development that I pitched that got picked up that had either like a little I'll give you an example. The Style Network and E picked up a show. This is actually when I was a host of called Reality Fakeovers. And it was a prank show and a makeover show. And I was a host and an actor in it. They then used to just throw it up on Style Network and E, see how it did, spend all this money on production, and then they'd give it more episodes. And now it seems like they're being a little bit more selective about that. And another thing is that comedy is back, and it's huge. After the cancel culture, whatever you think of it or not, whether you're for it, against it, think it's deserved or not, cancel culture really smashed comedy down for a while. And now comedy is accelerating at a rate. Like if you look at the amount of cast comedy specials that are on Netflix, they're just increasing like crazy, more so than reality shows. If you look at the reality top podcasters, are comedy. Like Rogan, even though he talks about serious stuff, is comedy. Kill Tony is the #1 live streamed podcast in the world. It is one of the top shows on YouTube. He just did the Netflix Tom Brady roast and got rave reviews. Like Tony Hinchcliffe just crushed it. And now there's all these discussions of him having his own show. He just did a live show from, I think, from the HEB, one of the biggest arenas, the same arena they did the Tom Brady roast from in Los Angeles, the Forum. And comedy now, since it's like a reaction to cancellation, is getting much more like real down dirty in the way it used to be. And that's a lot less production level. And Kill Tony runs like a reality show in that people get picked out of a bucket. They have 1 minute to give their best minute of comedy, and they can end up being a superstar and crushing it and becoming like this comedy legend, or they could totally fail and make a fool of themselves. So you have basically a reality comedy television show that's the #1 podcast in the world, one of the top shows on YouTube, getting attention from Netflix. So I think that has taken a piece of the pie from some reality. And then the third point I want to make is that all media, wages, a lot of this article that we're talking about is reality TV dead. They were discussing it in terms of pay and amount of work. So people were saying, I used to get, paid X amount to cast a show. And or one example was they're saying used to be like $2,800 maybe per week or per whatever it was to cast a show. And now they're seeing, $350 of compensation to cast it. That's happening across all media. I used to, as a freelance writer, make $1,500 to $2,000 for an article. The same places like Hearst that has Esquire, Cosmopolitan, Marie Claire, big brand names, $150 an article, sometimes $50 an article. A position I was offered at a major magazine that I was offered in 2009 at $120,000. I got a call from a recruiter for the same position at the same place. They didn't know I was recruited 2 years ago for $60,000. And it's like a 7-day-a-week full-time editorial job. So it's across all, like, legacy media is not sure what the hell to do now that there's so much. When competition goes up, prices and wages go down and things niche out. So that's my overall encompassing reaction to, is reality TV dead? No, the Traitors is huge. Deal or No Island is huge. It's just that going with franchises, or creating a new amazing show like Traitors 3, which were Traitors, and we're going to get into the cast of Traitors 3 in a little bit, having the Bachelorette and creating a Golden Bachelor, which was incredibly successful. And Rachel, you worked on the casting of that, is the trend. It's not dead. It's just shifting along the lines of media industry and reacting to things like comedy and reacting to competition.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And I just added Stephanie to the stage. Hey, Stephanie.
Hey, girl.
And Stephanie, we're talking about this article that came out. I sent you, is reality TV dead?
Yes.
Jen Hoffman says no. What is your take, Steph?
I think now more than ever, it's on fire. I mean, we were the first cast of Traitors. We were the guinea pigs, right? It has taken off. Survivor is approaching almost season 50. It's been on forever. Big Brother's been forever. And now not only are these shows here in the US, they're all over the world. Everyone's copying us.
Yeah.
There's,
exactly.
There's Survivors all over. There's Big Brothers all over. Now there's Traitors, UK. I didn't even know there was like Survivor South Africa. And same thing, the Golden Bachelor now. Here's the thing. I think it's cheap to do a reality show, to be honest. You don't have to write scripts. These people are off the cuff. It's fairly cheap to these huge networks to produce these shows and do it. It's a lot cheaper than a movie and hiring those super expensive movie stars, which are amazing at what they do. But I think reality is heating up, and I think it's going to be the way of the world, to be honest.
Yeah,
I'm reading some of our comments, and they're basically like agreeing with that and saying, like, Eric Holmes made a comment saying, like, reality TV has its like classic rock shows like Big Brother, Survivor. They can have 40 episodes in. It's like if somebody like a huge legend of something plays an arena, they know they're going to sell tickets. So it's like they're going with that. It's not dead. They're just pushing the brakes. They're like putting the brakes on some new stuff and accelerating on what works, or doing like Mr. Beast. They're doing 5,000 contestants. They're making it huge, either cinematic like Traitors was, and you guys experienced the absolute like cinema and beauty. That was done like a movie, not a reality show.
Right.
Or at the same time, they're going to do something like take Mr. Beast and do 5,000 contestants. They're going to do something like Deal or No Deal, which they already have the intellectual property, and say you can win almost unlimited money. They were saying like 20 million. The last person had a chance at 13 and took a deal and won about 1.4, but that's a lot of money.
That's great. That was great.
It's great. So reality TV, I totally agree. It's bigger and better than ever. It's just maybe a little bit more selective.
And I think there's
like a lot of different too. I think there's a lot of different like different and like different directions it's going in. Like you said,
Yeah.
like it's going in the big game showy Mr. Beast, 5,000 people, Squid Games, 400 people. Then it's also has your scripted-y, more like cinematic shows that are more theatrical, like the Traitors, like Survivor. Not scripted-y because they're not scripted, but the ones that feel more like you're watching, or a docu-follow where it feels like you're watching a sitcom or you're watching a drama unfold in front of you. And we have these stories that are continuing outside in the real world. Like, look how big that Scandival story was. Now, as far as the business is going, I think, in my opinion, because they're dialing back on needing a lot of new people to cast. There's also been a lot of people in the industry that have joined the industry lately that in the past few years have been like, I want to work in casting. I want to do this. That in 2016, barely, I mean, when I joined casting, there was like such a small pool of casting producers, casting associates in general. Now there's a huge, now there's a huge pool of these people. So there's more people, there's more competitions for jobs. But also, like, if you're doing a show with like the Mr. Beast games, you have like creative content. They're doing it. They have like, you know, their team that they always work with that are on full-time on staff. Then you have like the freelancers who bounce from project to project. And that's just the way it is. And then, you have these major franchises, and which is the article talked about, the major franchises. You also have now this new thing where the networks are picking contestants. So they don't need to hire out casting. They don't need to hire out like a team of people to say like, hey, call up all these people. Like, the networks already know who they want. They're already like going back when they're hiring old reality stars. The same thing for a docu-follow. These docu-follows, they're coming to them if they're a spinoff. If it's a Lisa Vanderpump's creating another show, they know who they're casting.
And they're bringing it in-house too.
Right.
A lot of casting. So like, it's like they know who they're casting, so they don't need to hire people. And they're bringing it in-house rather than hiring a bunch of other people the way studios used to do. They'd have like one casting director, and also casting, there's like everything is cheaper. Wages are cheaper. So people aren't going to get paid as much as they used to because there's more people trying to do the job.
Yeah. Hannah Horn said she agrees with what you're saying, what you said, Stephanie. And I totally agree. There's a lot of people now in the industry. So no, I don't think that reality TV business is dead. I don't think reality TV shows are dead. I do think we're going to see a lot of different ways that people are going to explore content creation in the future, whether that's a major budget reality show or if it's a YouTube show that they're doing or a digital, like a Paramount Plus digital that they're producing. Because I think we're going to see like some streamers are going to start doing bundling. Comcast is now bundling Netflix, Apple TV,
Amazon,
and Peacock. Yeah, Amazon is doing bundling. So you can buy a Hulu package where it's Hulu, Disney Plus,
ABC,
Fox,
Disney.
ABC, yeah. So we're going to see like maybe it's going back to what it used to, like we as consumers were spending, I don't know, like $200 a year on a cable package. And now we're spending like $600 a year because we're subscribed to every single streamer.
I don't know. Mine's cheaper though. I just recently moved and we got rid of cable completely and I only have streaming and it's way cheaper than what I used to have.
Us too, but mine is way more expensive because Netflix like went up to $20. Like I pay for like Hulu, Disney, HBO, Apple TV. I mean, I literally pay for them all. Like
you have every single one. I know. I only have like if I want to watch the show, I get it. Like if I need something on Paramount Plus, I get Paramount Plus, and then I cancel it. But I mean, Peacock is new to me. Ever since the Traitors, I'm like, what's this Peacock? So I have that, and I've had that.
I love Peacock. Peacock has a lot of good content and a lot of original content, which I really like. Because Peacock is part of the NBC Universal family, but their content, it feels very NBC, but it's very original. Like Peacock, it's like its own brand. Eric said, I'm having young kids. They're watching shows on a 4K TV. So he ends up watching YouTube on their phone. I feel like that's true. Like the young kids are watching. Yeah.
I was going to say, well, millennials are the biggest generation like alive right now. We are the biggest, and a lot of people have children too. So it's like kid friendly. It's being divided up between like YouTube. And YouTube itself has its own reality show, like we were talking about. Like Mr. Beast is basically a reality show every week. It's a competition to see who he's going to give $1 million away. How does a network compete with? He just surpassed this week. He became the #1 YouTuber. He was #2. He's the #1 YouTuber, and every single week he has essentially a full reality show. Once a week or once every whenever he drops an episode, it's a full reality show right there.
Yeah,
no, I totally agree.
I've heard of a couple of people doing things like
this
that.
is a good transition too. So Stephanie, Hannah Horn said, did you give Big Brother and Survivor alumni on the Traitors for this upcoming season any advice?
So this season I did not. They were really tight-lipped. And
Really?
my Traitor friends were. My Survivor friends that are on Traitors were, yes. And until I saw the cast come out, didn't even know for sure who was on it. So I am actually really surprised.
So I had an idea of who the people were. I'll go ahead and show you guys this. So this is our cast. Okay, so we have Danielle Reyes from Big Brother, Brittany Haynes from Big Brother, Caroline, I'm sorry, I don't know her last name, but she's from Survivor. We have Chanel, who is a housewife, and I believe she's from Dubai, Housewives.
Yes.
We have Gabby from the Bachelor franchise, Dolores, who's a housewife, Robin, who is a housewife, Dorinda, who's a housewife, Chriselle from Selling Sunset, Sierra from Summer House, Nikki, she's one of the Bella sisters. She's a WWEer. She had her show on E! She's had a ton of other reality shows. Bob the drag queen from Drag Race, Jeremy, Tony, and Rob. So Jeremy, Tony, and Boston Rob from Survivor.
Boston Rob's got crazy with the back-to-back with the Deal or No Deal Island and the Traitors.
Crazy.
Rob's like reality king right now.
Like the actual reality king.
I was on a reality show with Rob once. It was a small show and it was in Canada. And I can tell you, Rob is a such a strategic player, fun to play with. But like, I understand why he keeps getting cast, because he tried to fuck with. It was me. It was just a small thing. So they decided to pick their favorite. It was Mertz Jaffer, who a lot of people in the reality TV world know, got his own show where he got to pick his 4 favorite reality stars from what they were calling the Big 4 at the time, from The Apprentice, Big Brother, Amazing Race, and Survivor. And Rob is who he picked from Survivor. I was the person from Apprentice. And Rob was like so cutthroat for this smallish, albeit fun, but small show. Like it wasn't even Survivor or winning $1 million or anything. And Rob was like, I will take every single one of you out and like be the star of the show and do this. So like, he's going to be great TV on this. Tom Sandoval, who's like known just as Scandoval now, basically.
And Dylan, who is Zac Efron's brother. Ivor, who is a lord. He's related to King Charles. Wells, obviously from The Bachelor. We love Wells. Bob Harper from The Biggest Loser. We haven't seen him in a long time. He struggled with some health issues and he's back. Sam, who is Britney Spears' ex-husband. And then
oh my gosh, I didn't even say, you said it. I missed that. I've read it and I've missed it every time I've seen it, that guy's on there. Yeah. He's like, that's like, basically she married like Kevin Federline and he had his weird like pseudo stardom, and now her fiance, like she basically did K-Fed part 2. I'm just calling Sam K-Fed 2, even though they don't have any kids.
No, like literally.
I like that guy. I rarely say I don't like somebody. You guys have been on podcasts with me. I'm like kind to reality stars and everyone, creators and people, because we're human beings just trying to make it out there. But like that guy to me seems like so like you get the massive ick from this guy, Sam. So I want to see how he goes up against these bosses, these absolute bosses that are on there. And I kind of hope they embarrass him and wipe the floor with him, because he embarrassed our queen, Britney.
Honestly,
not like Britney Spears.
What is he famous for besides he was with Britney Spears?
That's it.
Like he's
selling her out. Selling her out.
Right.
He sold her out. He's just a dancer. He was like a backup dancer, right? That's what he was, how they met. And
Okay.
then like he's very handsome. Look, he's
good
good
looking
looking.
guy. for
And
sure.
there's some single ladies in the house. So like there's a chance. I mean, I don't know, that's a stretch, but there is a chance we could get a
Did
showman.
you guys even have chance for romance on that show? It
Oh,
seemed
you
like
could
there must be-
definitely, because you're in
Okay.
the castle. So you're in
All
the castle
day.
all day. You spend so you're not sleeping there, but you do spend the entirety of the day in the castle. And you
Yeah.
could definitely have a chance to,
Right.
you know, kindle some sort of romance, because even though there's traitors, you don't trust everyone, all this stuff, there is still a chance where you could like, you know, sneak off and like, hey, let's go get a tea together and talk. And there's
Yeah.
plenty of places for romance to blossom.
Was there
Yeah.
any showmance on either of your Trader seasons or any like
No, because
flirtation or things?
everyone's married on Traitors 1.
Yeah.
Christian wasn't, but like Christian tried to like definitely lay the lines down, or like lay the, what are they called? Like spit game, I guess. Spit game at Shelby.
Give the ring.
And then after he dated Geraldine.
That's
for
true. He
a
did date
second.
Geraldine right afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
so-
everyone, of course, even though Trishelle's married, people were trying to make it out to be more than something between her and CT. They were like,
Oh,
are they
yeah.
friends,
No,
are
and
they
then-
enemies,
and then
or
Phaedra
are they
and CT
lovers?
We all tried to make it out with Phaedra and CT too. Remember?
Oh, that was, yes.
That
She
was-
That was
totally
adorable,
loving it.
though. That was kind of like, I
They
think
were
them
adorable.
playing it up,
Yeah.
like being like,
Yeah.
you're my,
Yes.
like, you're my one, you're my number one, I love you, kisses, whatever. But then people really were, and Trishelle addressed it with us in earnest, going in her comments,
Yeah.
and even on our comments on our podcast, being like, tell the truth, did you and CT really have like a crush on each other? Did you? And she was like, no, he's like my
No.
brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got that vibe. I could tell that it was
Yeah.
more like a brother sister.
But yeah,
But
this, you know,
there
what,
is
that's a
time
good
for
point.
romance.
There
There could
is-
be There could
That's
be
a great
romance.
point.
of
Yeah,
brewing.
Rachel, that's a great point, that maybe they wanted to add more of that type of drama because it's such a dramatic theatrical show already. But there is
Yeah.
potential, people like with these people right here, to
Yeah.
have.
Now, is
real
Gabby
flashes of
currently
personalities.
dating? Is Gabby single? I don't know if Gabby is single. I think
Ciara
Chriselle is.
right. Isn't Ciara?
Ciara is. I think Chriselle is newly single. I can't remember if Chriselle is dating that girl still, or are they engaged? I don't know. I can't remember. I have to look
He's
it up.
non-binary.
Yeah, Chriselle's
Dating
partner is
that-
non-binary.
Chriselle was after dating Jason, the boss on Selling Sunset. She started dating a non-binary rock star.
Okay,
whose
sorry, I
name
thought
I do not remember.
Okay. I didn't
she's
realize that they were
Australian.
non-binary.
She's big in Australia apparently, but I don't know if they're still dating or not.
Okay. So I didn't realize that. So please forgive me. They are married. So musician G Flip. So Chriselle is married. G
Sorry.
Flip.
I'm not.
So-
I'm no disrespect. I'm like, my girlfriend is G Flip.
Yeah. Well, I guess because G Flip is non-binary. So is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So
I don't watch that
Chriselle
Selling
is off the
Sunset.
market. Let's see if Gabby is on the market or off the market. So Gabby is
Who's single? What guys? Sam?
Sam
Brittany's
is
ex?
Sam
Sam
is
is single.
single, as far as we know, or I don't think that guy gives a shit. Obviously, the way he threw
Right,
Brittany under the bus, he's single. Tom Sandoval is single. Doesn't matter if
Right.
he's single or not. Single.
Right.
Tom
Right.
Sandoval is dating that girl. It's all over the Instagram.
Do we think it matters?
No, I don't think it matters either. Maybe there won't be. Wait, does Gabby have a girlfriend? So maybe there's no relationships. Okay, so Gabby is let's see. Robbie Hoffman are celebrating 1 year together. This was in May. So I guess there is not going to be a showmance.
You never know.
You never know.
That is true. Well,
And then I
Wait a
heard there was
second.
some in Trader season 2, some dating maybe afterwards or hooking up. But I
I
don't
did
know.
hear there was hooking up afterwards as well. That was the big
Yes.
gossip.
And then I was like secretly, in a weird way, thinking Parvati and Pilot Pete because they hated each other like so much.
Like there was sexual tension or something. like
yeah,
that.
I was like,
Parvati had a girlfriend also.
right,
Yeah.
right.
It's-
But it was like just funny. Like
What
that
you
was
also
like-
never know. It's like when you go on these shows, you end up having these relationships with people. Like there are people even during The Apprentice, because you do have lots of downtime. You're in a house together. Some people were with other people, and you can tell
Yeah.
there was attraction between them and things going on that, you know, could have turned into something.
Yeah.
And that's like The Apprentice has nothing to do with anything like that. And me, Trishelle and I filmed a pilot for Bravo, filmed a few different shows where people were in relationships. And let me tell you, even during the pilot, those went out the door. Like other people started dating, people started liking each other. So you never know.
No, you
No,
never
I
know.
mean,
And so I think Sierra from Summer House is single.
yeah.
She
So
is after the last episode I watched of Summer House.
Yeah, no, wait, it says that Sierra is praising her co-star West for keeping their relationship status secret from the public.
Well, he
Oh,
was hooking.
okay.
Her and West were like hooking up on the show, but I don't
Yeah,
know
they
if
were hooking
ever
up on
got,
the show,
like,
and I guess that they're still
super
dating.
serious. Oh, okay.
According in May, an article in Us Weekly, May 9th, 2024, Sierra is you know what else I saw, which I thought was really cool too, that this cast, I think, is one of the most diverse LGBTQ plus casts that we've seen on a reality show in a while. So I think that's pretty interesting because there's so many representation from the LGBTQ A plus community.
I
So
love
that is
this
really
cast.
exciting.
Hannah in the
I think
comments.
this show is going to be fantastic. Like, I
Yeah.
cannot wait until it airs. When do we think it airs? They're filming now, correct?
I think it airs in January. So they said Zac Efron in high school. Have you seen Zac in High School Musical? I did, Hannah Horn. I did give Brittany and Danielle advice for the Traitors. Yes,
Oh, you did?
I did. I did. I
Wow.
talked to Brittany. So I had talked to Danielle a long time ago, but Danielle is very tight-lipped about these things, and she did not tell me that she was going on. So
Yeah.
I did
Interesting.
not. Yeah, did not know that she was going on.
Wow.
They
thought
said
Rob was going on, but he did not talk to me about it. I talked to him a little bit about Deal or No Deal Island while it was filming, like while it was airing, but he did not tell me about this. But
and Nikki is apparently married to Artem from Dancing with the Stars. So no, I don't know. There might not be showmances, guys. This is
Who do we think is going to be a traitor?
Hooked up.
I think it's going to be
the
people we
best
won't
traitor?
suspect. I don't think
Like,
they're
So
going to be obvious.
I say 100% there will be one person from the Survivor cast because
Well, there's 4
we
of
have
them. Yeah.
Caroline, we have Jeremy, we have Tony and Rob. I think my money is
Probably
on
like Jeremy.
Tony. I don't know if it's going to be Jeremy. I think Jeremy would be a good traitor,
Yeah.
but my money would be on Tony because Tony's won Survivor twice. Tony is
obvious.
like,
that's so
that,
obvious.
I know.
But
That
every
was like,
season, a traitor's been obvious.
It's
Dan
not going to be
was
Rob
obvious.
for sure.
that's what I was thinking, because the previous season they were picking people they knew how to game and lie and bluff and do that. So we had like expectation, especially after watching season 1, we kind of knew, okay. And then from season 2, they're picking total gamers.
You know,
but on this one, I wonder if they're going to throw us off. Of course, people that have been shady, like Sam, who threw Brittany under the bus, Tom Sandoval, who's got lying so many times on Vanderpump Rules.
Tom is for
They're
sure.
going to be suspects no matter what. So it's like, do they pick them as a traitor, or do they let them be consistent suspects?
You know what I really hope they do? Like, I literally hope they like have a wheel like at bingo and they spin it and they put their hand in and pick, so that no one's trying to say, okay, there's 4 survivors. There definitely has to be one of them. Let's take shots at the survivors first. Do you know what I mean? Because that's how they're going to do it. They're going to process some elimination. Now, if it's that chance and production doesn't pick the actual traitors, I mean, it could suck. They could be like very obvious traitors or like people that aren't good at being a traitor. So it would screw the whole show up. But I think that's the fairest way to do it, though.
Right.
Is to just do it.
I would love them to do it like that, but I also feel like they're not going to do that because they also the part of the excitement of Traitors, you know, Stephanie, is when Alan walks around and puts his hand on your shoulder.
And he can still do that. I think he should still do that. I think he should pick the names out of a thing. It should be on a piece of paper only Alan sees.
Oh, I see. I thought you were saying the contestants pick their name.
We don't know if they're going to switch it up. Maybe there is going to be some sort of either competition or some sort of thing that happens, like not a wheel because then everyone would see it, but maybe there is going to be something like that. And then you don't know who got it. And then because that drama of Alan, the tapping on the shoulders,
What if they just
I
go
would
old
hope they don't
school?
get rid of that. But
Put
yeah,
pieces of paper rolled up in a hat. Nobody sees it but Alan. Open the
No,
paper.
I
only
would like
Alan
that.
sees.
I think
Then
that would be
blindfold everybody.
yeah.
And Alan's now going to tap the traitors.
like imagine the dramatic look on Alan's face because Alan pre-knows. I feel like that would add so much drama to the show if they showed him seeing who it was going to be.
Could you imagine?
Like
That would
his
be
face,
so cool.
and
Like
then
you pull it
see,
out and it's like,
oh, yeah,
whatever.
Like, I hope they switch
Ciara.
that up and make
Didn't
it.
he say that there was 4 traitors? Didn't he announce that somewhere that they had
I
picked
think
4
there's going to be
traitors?
more this time. Is that cast larger?
The cast is the same. I think that there's 20. Let's see. There's what, 21 people, right?
And saying there's 4 traitors could also mean that they start out with 3 and have to recruit 1, or they start out with 2 and have to recruit 2 more, or 1 gets discovered episode 1, so they bring in others. Like, we don't know if they say there were 4 traitors. We don't know what that means. We don't know when and how there became 4 traitors.
Well, I thought he had said he had picked the traitors. There's 4 traitors that they're starting out with. I read that somewhere, and I could be totally, totally wrong. If anyone in the comments has seen that as well, let me know if I'm totally off bait.
They're gonna switch it up for sure.
Yeah,
and they gotta make the challenges a little more intense. I feel like
I think
challenges
so too.
are
So Hannah wants to know: will
easy.
Big Brother and Survivor team up? No, I don't think so. I think Brittany and Danielle need to work together because it's the 2 of them, and I don't see either one of them being a traitor. So I think they need to work together so that because I think a survivor, 1 or 2 survivors could be traitors.
Although in the past we have seen the gamers team up, just like how and it was almost by default because some of the gamers weren't sure they could trust each other because gamers have such a history of mistrust. So some teamed up, but then the Bravo squad was so tight that by default, then a lot of the gamers.
Well, I will tell you this: Brittany did tell me that she really liked how Sandra played last year. So there's a chance that Brittany would work with the Bravo people because she thought that that was a good strategy for how Sandra had played. I don't remember. Danielle Reyes said that she was just going to like talk to everyone and just kind of try to be like the opposite of what Dan did. Like,
I mean, that's
everything
kind of what I did. I don't know about you, Rachel. I mean, me and you and Saray already had like an in together. So we were like a locked in 3. But then I kind of got to know people, and it was like who I liked, who I thought was fun to be around, who I felt comfortable with. You know, that's how I got, with Kyle Cook a little bit. And because he was just cool. I knew he was the faithful. I could just tell he was the faithful. He was really trying to figure it out, So
I agree. I think that, yes. I think that that is a smart strategy. And I think that like that does work in this game. The only thing is because I just get so nervous about getting murdered every day.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I always wanted to have a little bit of a target on my back.
Right.
It's just such a hard game to play. But I bet that all the reality people pair up. And I wonder if they're going to go after the people like the Dylan, who's Zac Efron's brother. Like, what have you done, Dylan? Sorry. Like, in my opinion,
why are you here?
Like, why are you here?
Yeah. Well, he would be an easy first murder. He'll be, you know what I mean? He would be like a
like get rid of that guy.
If I'm on there, I'm killing gamers, even though it depends. If there's gamers that I feel like I can play with and I get it, but if there's gamers on there like someone who's won Survivor 2 times and I'm a traitor, I'm like, yeah, you have to get murdered. Or if there's somebody there that I know is a really good liar or going to play or could possibly win, like I want to keep the people who I think are going to be clueless and not know how to play there. I want to keep that Sam, Brittany's dancer person there. I want to keep Zac Efron's brother there because they've never had to deal with like the intensity of how gamers like manipulate and play, plus the competitions, plus the cameras in their face on such a level. We're so used to cameras in our face and competing and all that stuff that it's like having lunch on Tuesday, but those other people, like to watch them go into tizzy and be able to manipulate them and puppet them and use them as shields could be very helpful.
Right. Oh my gosh, this is so exciting.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I think it'll be really interesting to see like what direction the cast goes in and what direction that everyone is thinking because it is so hard to navigate, and there are so many big personalities. I mean, even like our girl from the Housewives of Dubai. Like I watched season 1, I think, of Housewives of Dubai, and I just remember her being like really cutthroat, really outspoken. So I wonder if she'll play that way, because if she is, it's going to be like who sets the tone for how the game is played, right? Like
I just hope they don't get rid of like a Bananas first.
Well, Bananas isn't on this season.
No, I'm just saying somebody like that.
Yeah.
He would have been really entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
And they got rid of him first. What was his name on our season again, Rachel? Reza. Like Reza was hysterical.
He was
and
so
for them to have gotten rid of Reza first.
Most interesting person on the GOAT right now.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh, the man, like killing Reza. You just killed off like half.
You have to watch it
and drama on the show. Like somebody who might cry or scream or like freak out.
That's what. But like that's why I don't want them to get rid of Rob first.
Yeah.
I understand you think he's a threat if he's not a traitor or whatever, or maybe he is, but like leave him on for a little bit because he's such good TV.
I guess it depends on who you are. Like if I'm there and I want to win money,
from a viewer.
Rob, for me, and like Rob, love you, filmed a show with you, had a great time with you. But Rob's my first person to go
on
he's so good.
Right.
Even though everyone knows who he is and what he does,
he's
so good.
He's so good. No, I'm just
him.
Yes.
Not me, because if I'm a traitor, I want Rob
from a viewer.
Yeah. Even from a viewer or a traitor. I want Rob in the game because I need to like get all the blame on him.
Yeah.
On Rob. If I'm a faithful, I need Rob to be there to help me navigate. If
to protect
to protect you.
And have people always saying that he is so clever that it could be him, so the attention is off of you.
Exactly. Exactly. So
you have to see how he plays it though. It's gonna be interesting if he's like quiet. I bet he plays the quiet game at first and just sits back.
I don't think so. He's never quiet on any of these shows. So I don't think he's going to play the quiet game. I think he's going to play the Boston Rob, everybody's buddy game. Like
that's like Deal or No Deal Island. He played the like
he the buddy game.
He did have he played the like bringing the youngest kid under his wing and then being a friend to one of the girls that didn't really have anybody. And then even though he was playing people, whenever anybody tried to fight with him, he'd be like, what do you mean? I'm just here to be here and be supportive. I'm a dad now. I have 4 kids. Playing innocent, like, being like, I love everybody.
100%. And he is going to bring in Brittany and he's going to bring in Danielle because he watches Big Brother. I know that he knows them. And everyone knows him from that franchise. I wouldn't be surprised if some of the housewives know Boston Rob. Because some of the housewives are fans of competition shows. So I know I'm guessing that Chanel, that's her name, right? From Dubai. Yeah. Chanel might not know anyone but the other housewives. They might form a Bravo alliance, bring in Sierra. They might form a Bravo alliance, bring in, I think Chrishell will be with the Bravo alliance. And I think Nikki will also be with those girls because Nikki and like Chrishell's a girl's girl. And
sort of.
Well, on Selling Sunset.
Yeah, I'm like obsessed with Selling Sunset. The arc that she's had was like deer in headlights, doe-eyed, like so beautiful. I think she's one of the most beautiful people I've ever seen in my life. Yeah. Like she was getting so attacked and so whatever. But the last season, the way she asserts herself, the way she phrases things, the way she sets boundaries, the way she puts herself down, the way she will look someone in the eye and say like, do not say that to me, or like, what did you say? Repeat that. The way she calls people out it's something I actually was just talking to somebody about, kind of like the evolution of shows like that, is that she is fierce now. Like she's gone from being like, I'm on a show about selling houses and there's a little bit of drama, to being like, do not fuck with me. And it feels very real and personal, not just like a character.
Wow.
Well, and maybe, I mean, then in that case, she could be like, I don't see her being a traitor. That's the only thing. I just don't see them making her a traitor. So I think she'll be like, how you remember, Steph, how Brandy was when Brandy was like sniffing out. She was so really good at it. So Chrishell could be that like person that's like the sniffer, that's like the Sherlock Holmes of it, that's, you know, just trying to like figure out who the traitors are. Brandy Glanville was actually really good at it. She called out Christian and Cody. And I think she called out Sari within like 10 minutes. It was like insane. And we didn't want to listen to Brandy because Brandy, I was like, oh, she's probably like lying or she's so dramatic over the top. But she was right. She was right about everything. So Chrishell could be that person that's like, you know, the Sherlock Holmes of it, where she's like really good at figuring out who's a traitor. And Chrishell is a Big Brother fan, or she used to be. I don't know if she is anymore, but she used to watch the show. I'm assuming if she watched Big Brother, she's probably watched Survivor. So she's going to know who, like, at least who Boston Rob is, right?
Right.
I would assume that she knows who Boston Rob is.
I feel like, I don't know, Carolyn and...
When you say make them a traitor, do you mean the producers of the show decide everything? Well, yeah, I mean the producers of the show they pick the traitors, obviously.
Previously,
which I don't
that's
think
not like
should.
a trade
it
secret.
Should be at random.
That's not random. It's not
random.
A trade secret. That is I feel like, right? That's not. I mean,
you're not going to get sent to cease and desist or an NDA for saying that. No.
Well, they interview us ahead of time and they ask us, do you want to be a traitor or a faithful? Why do you think you would be a good traitor? Yeah. And I think actually they go off that. They showed it on season 2. They showed Alan talking to the cast saying before he picked them.
Yeah, that's right. They did show that on season 2. That's right. They did.
But I don't think Alan is the guy that picks. I think it is production that picks.
Production. And it was wildly different from season 1 to 2, because from season 1, since there were like civilians and regular people versus competitors and reality people, there was this whole moral thing. Like, if you're a traitor, you're a bad person. I would never want to be a traitor. But then once you switched to all reality stars, everyone was like, make me the traitor. Yeah. I would want to be a traitor. Like, I would. But on season 1, somebody had mentioned something like, oh, I wouldn't mind being one. And then for the rest of the season, everyone was like, you said that it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to be a traitor. You must either be one or you should go, just for saying that, just for saying you wouldn't. I think somebody even said they wouldn't blame someone for doing it when somebody was invited or something. And they were like, you should be banished because you think it's even okay to be one. That's season 1. Season 2, everyone's like, wants to be one.
Of course.
Well, and then season 1, also we had that thing where everyone was like, you're playing the game, Rachel. And I was like, yeah, it is a game. And they're like, well, you're going home because it's a game to you. I'm like, calm down, folks.
Game.
It is literally a game.
It's
and then I think like season 2, we saw people that were just more like, it's a game, we're playing it, except for until the end when MJ became like real money, right? Yeah. Then MJ like took it real personally. Yeah. And so this season, because we have so many gamers, we have so many people who are gonna play the game, I think it will be more of a strategic Traitors season that we've ever seen. So we also, speaking of casting, right? So we have the new cast of The Bachelorette. I didn't know these were so small. So we have a lot of guys that are skewing older on this cast. That's one thing I noticed. We have
and I think that's because the viewers are skewing older. I wanted to point that out, that the people that love The Bachelor and The Bachelor franchise, and the people that are watching less YouTube, and even though, you know, Gen Z's like social media, they're like, what's The Bachelor? That's what my mom watches. Even younger millennials are like, oh, my mom loves The Bachelor. I just met some girls that were one of them overheard somebody say something to me about The Apprentice. They asked if they were on it. They were like, that was my mom's favorite show. And these girls were drinking alcohol a few feet away from where I was having dinner, like full-grown adults out of college, and their mothers were like, that's their favorite show. So I think they're starting to age it up a little bit, because
well, and Jen is 26.
Right.
So they're not going to have a bunch of like 22-year-olds on.
Right. And then, like when I watch Love Island, the 21-year-olds, I'm like, oh my God, they're letting children run around do these things.
They feel like children. I also have a screenshot of that. Look, y'all. Okay. They are babies. Look how young they are. And these kids, these Love Island cast is older than the other Love Island cast previously. But the Love Island cast, I think it's very interesting. So notice the Love Island guys versus the Bachelor guys. Now, we used to see a big difference in the casting between the two shows. They each had their own like feel. Now I feel like they're becoming very similar. I also noticed something that in the promotions for the show, if you see Jen's Bachelorette promotion, there's a ton of like neon lights behind her. It's playful, it's fun. It feels very Love Island-y.
Wow.
And the cast for the guys feel very like Love Island-y as well, except for like a few guys. But
they used to make it like every woman's looking for their Prince Charming, wants to get married. It used to be very much princes and princesses, queens and kings, like traditional wedding style romance. And I think that they're realizing that there's less people interested in that. Statistics show that from millennials, even starting at Gen Z, but especially millennials down, less and less are getting married or even interested in getting married. They might be cohabitating, but there's less of this like fairy tale wedding. I dreamed of my wedding since birth. Like, I think you'll get only a few people saying that now. So I totally noticed that too. They're trying to like, it's more of like bright, vibrant colors and like more of like, here's my personality rather than like, I am the perfect man because I'm, have this certain job and I can romance you. It's going to be like more like who's fun.
I do think the fun and playful aspect is really coming into play for these shows now. But I would disagree with the marriage statistic because I think that we see a lot of like kids are getting married and they're getting married younger. And it's like everything everyone's talking about on TikTok. And on TikTok is very Gen Z. And the Gen Zs on TikTok, a lot of them are talking about that they are skewing more toward wanting to get married. Okay, so now they said, Rachel, you were playing the game in season 1 with Aaron. I'm not sure what that means, Hannah. But let us know what that means because I'm not sure what that means. And then Aaron from the Traitors UK won. Oh, okay, that's what Hannah's saying. Aaron from the Traitors UK 1 is on Love Island this season. That's right. So I am excited about that. So I think it's interesting to see that we're getting crossover from the UK to come on to Love Island cast. And, in Love Island, we don't meet all the contestants at first. So that's another difference between the two
They
shows.
bring in what are they called, the bombs or the bombshells?
Yes.
So wait, on Love Island, does everybody just hook up with everybody?
Well, yes and no. They don't because they pair off. So yes, they do like hook up. That's not the goal. Like the goal is for them to go in, they pair off. So they're like, it's the girls pick. And then the girls are like, oh, Aaron's cute. I want to pick him. And then Aaron steps forward. They couple up. So then they go through the thing. They get to know each other. They're all coupled up. A bombshell walks in. The bombshell could be like, it's either the girls. They'll be like, because you always hear, Stephanie, it's the trendy thing. So-and-so has entered, a new bombshell has entered the villa.
And they get to pick somebody to go on a date with.
Yes, and then they pick whoever they want in a couple to go on a date with. So then they go on the date. Then the guys will say, like, let's say, Stephanie, you come in, you pick Brendan to go on a date with. Then you and Brendan go on a date. Then at the end of the episode, Brendan gets to pick, do you want to stay with Rachel or do you want to go with Stephanie? And so then they pick, and then whoever is left behind who isn't coupled up goes home. So idea of Love Island is just to kind of like keep coupling up with someone.
Yeah. Okay. Like if you're smart and you want to win it, you just stay with someone no matter what. You don't get distracted. You stay strong. But because these people they seem to cast people that like are looking for love, but also would definitely like, they've been like, well, I cheated in the past, but now I'm trying to reform my ways is like one of the most like refrained, like one of the most repeated things. So it's like, they'll be like, I'm so in love on like episodes 1 and 2 and a bombshell comes in and they're like later, like to that person.
Literally. Yeah. And that's where all the scandal comes from and the hurt feelings. But then there's also like a ton of them hooking up. So like sometimes they'll hook up and they'll stay together the whole time. Eric said that we're all awesome and that Eric is going to go back to the reality in HR. I feel you.
Oh, he works in HR.
Bye,
go back to work.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for joining. But then I also thought it was interesting because I sent you girls the link for how they did the cast reveal on The Bachelorette. And I just thought the way they did it felt so like Love Island-y to me, because it felt so like they were coming in and all the guys were like doing a turn and a spin, pop the collars. Like, yes, like the thing, they never did that. And I do agree, with the Bachelor, Bachelorette, they did used to always be very Prince Charming. Here's a rose and look at me. Now it is more playful. And I like that about the show. I like the cast is more playful. The people that they cast seem more playful. Like, we don't normally see a guy that looks like Brett on the show. And that's just something that everyone's talking about. And I kind of love that. I think he seems adorable. I think he's cute, by the way. I'm excited.
Let me see which one Brett is.
Okay. So let's go here. You know what?
I thought they were all really good looking.
First of all, there's a lot more diversity than usual, besides the Bachelorette herself being Asian American. And then there's a lot of diversity in the cast. Yeah. And usually, I mean, it used to almost bother me because I do like a tall man with like a square jaw, but I don't like a pretty boy.
Yeah.
So it was always such pretty boys. Like, it wasn't even like square jawed, like, those. It was like pretty boys. So I was like, I never thought like almost any of the Bachelor guys were hot, because I was like, you're too pretty.
Right.
So I'm like, oh, okay. We got
and
like,
it's also
hard. More of a masculine.
Yeah. Well, look at these guys. They're pretty. They're older. We have a guy that's 35 years old. So she's 26.
Okay.
And Kevin, where is he on this photo? Kevin is like 35, which I thought was really interesting.
Oh yeah,
I was like,
Kevin.
That is really interesting that they're putting a 35-year-old on. This is our Love Island cast. They're all like early 20s.
Oh my God. My daughter, by the way, she's 12, going to be 13 in September. She is obsessed. Before she went to volleyball today,
obsessed with Love Island.
Watching. I'm like, what are you watching? I have not. She loves Love Island.
Oh my gosh. Don't tell
all
me
the
that.
young kids love Love Island.
She's going to be 13, is it not? Yeah. Should I not allow it?
No, allow it. It's fine.
She's
they all love Love Island. My nephew,
cute, but she's never like dated or kissed a boy. She's super sporty. Like, we're not into any of that.
I mean, don't let her watch all the late night Love Island episodes, but like, the show.
I don't know.
I just went in. I'm like, what are you watching? Like, this was, she's.
No, but they all love it on TikTok. They all talk about how the hottest girls are the Love Island girls. And they also
she's not on any social media.
Oh, so my nephew last year was like, I was like, so which Kardashian's your favorite? He was like, Kardashian. And he's just like balked at it. Yeah, he's like, but let's talk about Love Island. And I was like,
what?
Well, they are closer in age. I mean, they're closer in age than.
Yeah, a teenager and a 20-year-old, like Kim Kardashian and I she's 44. We're like the same age.
Yes.
That's me too.
That's a mom. To a 20-year-old, that's a mom. To a teenager,
but like Kylie is like 20. Right. Kylie's 20.
I can't believe Kim Kardashian is 44. I guess I thought because I'm going to be.
She's
I'm
43 or 44. I think she was born in 1980. She's born in 80 or 81.
She looks like she's in her 30s. She looks great.
She looks amazing.
She's in her 40s. They've been having their show since 2000
Yeah, that show's been on forever.
I remember her waiting in a long line. I actually have a picture when I was working for OK Magazine, waiting in a long line of people to be interviewed, standing with Chris, just standing there like hoping to be interviewed. And that was like in 2009. Wow. And I have a picture of it. Like she wasn't a big get, like people wouldn't even really interview her. And then within like 12 months from then, they wouldn't even talk to you basically. I'm looking up her age. I know
2007. She's 44. I just looked it up. The first episode was in 2007. Yeah. So they've been around, but it was crazy to me that my nephew said that because the Kardashians, Kylie is like, and Kendall, and they're both gorgeous. Yeah, and Kylie is like 20 something. And so is Kendall. But my nephew said that he's like, no, it's all about the Love Island girls, which I do understand too, because the Bachelor girls and the Bachelorette guys are older. So Love Island is very much the Gen Z TikTok, like they love the Love Islanders.
So what do you
and it's also like a really cool show for them. Like they all talk about it. Like they're not supposed to watch it. It's that kind of vibe.
Yeah. Kendall's 28, by the way. That's like old to teenagers and 20-year-olds. I remember being in college and being 21 and going to this bar, and there were a couple 27, 28-year-olds that hung there. And that's the same distance between me and my current boyfriend right now. But back then, when I was 21, I was like, ew, you're 28. Like, why are you in this bar with us? Ew.
Yeah.
Like,
Right?
Yeah, no, I did think that too. I remember thinking when I was 21 that like the people that had graduated college that still hung out with the kids in college were like way too old to be hanging out with.
Right.
Yeah. It's such a difference when you're younger. And then once you, I feel like once you get like around like 30, 35, then like it's like all the same kind of, but like, unless someone's like literally your dad's age, it's
right.
But then I guess the Love Island kids, let's see how old they are. I will Google this right now.
I love how we're like the kids. I feel like after I turned 40, I got to call anybody who is under 30 a kid. Because and anybody who's under 20 is a fetus. Anybody under 25 is still in utero. Like they look so young and so innocent to me. And I'm like, watching it.
Well, when I'm casting
I'm watching Love Island, which my boyfriend and I call Fuck Island. That one and the other one with the one where they tell you you're going to Love Island, but it's really the one where you're not allowed to have sex. I forgot what that one's called. That's my favorite.
What's
Too Hot to Handle.
Too Hot to Handle. That's my favorite. They think they're going to Love Island, but it's really a show where they're not allowed to hook up or have sex. And they had to they get fined money if they do, and they get spied on. I love that. We call them both Fuck Island, but I look at it and I'm like, I couldn't hook up with most of these people or find them attractive because even though they're of age, I would feel so creepy.
Because they're so young.
Yeah.
Well, do you want to know what? I'm just looking at their ages right now, and I've been wrong. These kids, the first four I looked up age 27, 26, 28. I remember when I cast Love Island season for CBS, like season 1 or 2, they were like under 25. They were all under 25. They told us like, so this girl, Kaylor, she is 22. I love that name, Kaylor. That's a really fun name. But then like a lot of these dudes are like, okay, so this guy, our guy Cordell, he is 21. Let's see.
I remember one season, like somebody who was like getting closer to 30 high five with someone else because they were like, oh, we're the old people, and they were like 26 and 27. So
that's how some of these Love Islanders are going to be feeling because their age range is all the way from like 21 to like 28. Which,
oh my gosh,
I know that I'm surprised they have someone that's 28 on Love Island. I mean, look, he's very.
Is it a girl?
It's a guy, Coy. Coy is the son of the female rapper Shocky Shay. Do you know that person?
No.
She was prominent in the 90s. He went to college on a basketball scholarship. He is 6'8".
That's a cool name.
Yes, Coy is a cool name. So I think because he's so good looking, he's 6'8" and played basketball. His shoe size is 17.
Oh wow, yeah, because he's tall.
That's too much person. That's too much.
I love him. Now I'm excited.
Basketball players are huge.
How tall are you guys?
I'm 5'4".
I'm 5'7".
Oh, I'm 5'4", so that's why and the guy I'm dating is 6'3". I dated a guy who was like 6'4", 6'5", and that was getting to be too much. So like 6'8", I would be like, I feel like I was in like a giant village.
That would be,
well, he's not even the tallest one, I don't think.
Huge.
Wow.
Let me see who this other guy is. Like, they're very tall this season. Where do they find all these tall guys?
Probably all
my friend Michelle casts. She's the casting director. She does a good job. I have like all my friends cast for Love Island.
Wait, who did you say is the casting director?
Nichey. Do you know Nichey?
No, I know Valerie Penso does some of the casting.
Yeah, Valerie does a lot of it.
Yeah.
Yep. Angela does it.
I was going to text Valerie like right before jumping on to ask if she wanted to come talk about it. And then I was like, I'm not going to bother her like 3 seconds before we're.
Yeah. So this guy Kendall is really tall as well, but it doesn't list how tall he is, but he looks like he's almost as tall as Coy, who's 6'8".
Wow.
So they must just have like really tall guys. No one else really lists their height except for our boy Coy. So wait, what does this one say? He's Robert was on season 5 of Love Island.
Interesting. You know what is very telling? It's telling that we started talking about The Bachelor or The Bachelorette, and then we so quickly got super excited, like even our body language and our voices, we got so excited about Love Island that we were like, forget them, and just started digging into Love Island. That's telling from showing like how people's interest is in it, why it's a huge show. Like we even all did.
Well,
we were like, why are people interested in Love Island? And then we were like, let's look at everyone on Love Island. Like,
yeah, because you know why?
immediately.
Like, look at this. This is the picture for Love Island. Okay. This
Right.
is the picture for The Bachelorette. Like, I don't mean that like not dishing
No,
Brett, but I'm
nothing
just
to
saying
do
like
with
a
his look.
plain
I
blue
think he's cute.
background.
It's just- right. A person in a t-shirt. The other guys are wearing
Right.
like men's express suit. Like, yeah.
I mean,
Right.
I've
Like, this
watched
is our
Bachelor-
Love Island guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I get bored with Bachelor and Bachelorette.
Like,
It gets
you're
boring.
showing me this guy versus like, I'll add another one of the very
Right.
Listen, some of these dudes they're very handsome that are also on The Bachelorette. Like, I do
Yeah.
think that they cast very handsome men this season, but this is our background, a blue
Right.
background. He's wearing a popped collar shirt. Like, he is, where are you going to the bar? Are you going out for a drink? Like, what's going on, sir?
Yes.
Like, you're not going out to a nightclub, that's for sure. But then I'm going to Miami right now, and I'm going to go have a mimosa, and I am going to sit on the beach sipping my mimosa looking at Robert. I mean, honest to God. And like, with the like colorful background and the swimsuit and the look, like his look, like Robert is serving a look, right?
Right.
Yeah.
This guy is serving, I'm so cute and friendly and sweet, and I'm going to church right now. Let's go get a Starbucks afterwards.
Correct.
It is that
Like,
it's the Bachelorette thing, which I guess you're right. It's like they haven't totally let go of the idea of Prince Charming. They all used to wear suits. Remember, they were wearing suits. Like,
well,
so
yeah, now they used to wear suits.
like,
yes.
Now they're like business casual because, like,
well, I don't know. Is this business casual, Brett? No, my friend.
He works from
This
home.
is not-
Business casual. Like, that's like he works from Zoom.
I mean, I think Brett is. Are you my bartender, Brett? Like, I am just judging your outfit, but like,
he looks like
right
he
now,
would be
I'm not
so
sure.
much fun though to be around.
I will tell you, he probably is fun. I'm not judging him, but anything but the outfit. So I'll tell you what most of these other guys are wearing, like popped collars. We have
a selection of business casual men.
We have no business casual men. Okay, maybe this guy is business casual. We'll see. Look at this guy's shirt. It's a business casually. I mean, if it unfolds, here we go. He's business casually. He has like a little suit jacket with a t-shirt. He looks very handsome, but again, like, he is like, this picture says to me, like, I'm, in a studio taking a picture for The Bachelorette. Like, it doesn't say I'm serving a look. I am going to go on an island and like watch me while I am on this island living. This to me says like,
I said husband material though, more than the random guy in the shorts who just flex crazy with.
True.
Look, I don't know what husband material is or not to certain people, but like if I wanted to get married when I was in my 20s or 30s and was on that show,
he's like very handsome.
I was like, oh, like he's dressed well and he cares about his appearance, but he's not like
he has a great smile.
He's not like, I'm in swim trunks going on a show just to find other hotties. Like, he
just
wants to get married. Yeah. So they are still giving some of that, like,
but I will tell you right now that
two totally different shows for sure.
Our boy Coy, he said he's looking for marriage, and I would marry him too. So I'm just saying. I mean, in my opinion, like,
you know what it is? It's The Bachelor is supposed to be Mr. Right, and Love Island's like Mr. Right Now is what they're giving.
Right.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good example. You're right.
Yes.
Yeah. But I mean, I even think though, the reason that we do get more excited is honestly because you get more excited looking at a colorful background than you do just like a blue background.
Right. Well, and their shirts are off and they're buff and
exactly. And they're like, I picture them having fun and being fun. I picture them being fun. Like, I want to tune in to see what crazy fun they're doing. Oh, we have a lot of comments in the chat for this. Okay. Hannah Horn said, Rachel. What, Hannah? I am just judging based off of the backgrounds. And let's see. Hannah also said, did I see the Kardashians when Jerry was on? Yeah.
We talked about that last
Gary,
week.
Sorry, I said Jerry. Gary, yes. So we talked about this last week. it was our story. I actually didn't get to watch that episode yet, but I do need to watch it. But I have heard about it. Hannah, spill the tea. What happened? I don't know what happened. You have to
Who's
spill
Gary?
the tea. Gary was our first Golden Bachelor who broke my heart.
He's
This
shady.
is another reason my heart's broken, so I'm not as excited about the show anymore.
The whole time I watched it, I first of all, it's the first Bachelor. Oh, happy
birthday,
birthday,
Zoe.
Zoe.
Happy birthday, Zoe.
The whole time I watched The Golden Bachelor, I was like, this is my favorite Bachelor maybe I've ever seen. It was exciting. I loved it. But I also was like, this is like the most sincere, nice, my wife died, I'm such a good guy, fuck boy of like a 7-year-old man I had ever seen. Like, I started to think he was so fake halfway through that I was like,
oh, really?
I started to Google him to see if he like had embezzled anything that you guys hadn't figured out. Because I was like, and then just what he did, he kept telling one of them he loved them, and then just like totally broke up with them. And then another one, I'm so in love. I picture our lives together. Our eyes are the same color. And then like, I'm never going to see you again. Like, I just was like, I
think he genuinely, in my opinion, I think he genuinely got confused because when I interviewed Gary, he was so like sweet and he was just like the nicest, normalest guy. And I think he just got confused. It's a hard it has to be a hard show.
Definitely.
Because you are looking for a wife. You are looking for someone.
He says the perfect things too much. He looks too sincere. His eyes water at the exact right moment. He said, like, I don't know, because you interviewed him. You have
but
so
they
much
also do editing, so don't
like,
forget
you're the expert. But I also am the expert in sociopaths, either dating them, knowing them, and I'm like, Gary screams it to me. Sorry.
I didn't think it was that. I really think that he got confused with the ladies at the end. And I was sad because he got married and then they got divorced because I thought neither one of them would do that. But I'm glad. I think Joan will be a different case scenario for us. I think she's 60. Joan is beautiful. She has a lot going on for her. She's, I just think she's going to be different. And I think she's going to look for actually love, get married and stay with this person.
Yes. Hopefully. If the man is sincere that she ends up choosing, it seems like that's what I loved her. So sad when she had to leave. And I was excited that it was her. I was surprised. I thought it was going to be one of the last 2 women that Gary didn't pick. So when they announced it was Joan, I was totally surprised.
So Gary was flirting with Chris on the show. Okay, so Kendall says she saw some things she shouldn't and is giving her mom, and he was giving her mom a lot of compliments. Okay.
I swear he's fake. You heard it first from me here that guy is as
well,
fake.
Do you think that the show could have possibly
made it seem so?
No, yes, but it could it change someone who has never been in this experience? Go back, rewind to, early 2000s. None of us have ever been on TV. You go on a show that's huge. You're the star of the show. Stephanie, you're the star of Survivor. You were the star of your season of Survivor. When you got off, how did it change? I mean, I know social media is so much bigger now, but like just even from like
being on the show was a total mind fuck. I thought I was gonna have everything under control. So, and I was like, and that wasn't even a love show picking like my husband. So I totally understand what you're saying. And there's been other bachelors and bachelorettes who said I love you to multiple people. I've taken their word back, but I didn't think any of them, except for like the famous villains like Nick Vial, I still thought they were sincere and just got confused. Exactly what you're saying. That it's like hard.
I also think it depends on what your agenda is. Like when I first went on Survivor, I was a true fan of the show. I watched it. I didn't go on to be famous. I didn't go on to be on TV. I went on to play the game of Survivor and compete and, try to get to the end and be the sole survivor. And editing can play a big role in how you're viewed. And my first season, I came off looking very much like America's sweetheart, right? I had a lot of fans. There was hate, too, certain ways, but I had a lot of fans. And then you know, when you come off a show like that and you're never in a public eye and you're getting recognized at the food store and at Target, everywhere you go, you can either still be yourself and not forget where you came from, or you can think you're the shit and be like, so I don't know anything about Gary, but now if he's with, you know, the Kardashians and he's hitting on the mom, I think he's got a little bit of an agenda, you know?
I mean, that's how it seems if he's hitting on Chris. And I don't know that when that filmed, I think that filmed a while ago. We were talking about that last week.
And they have cross worlds because it's ABC and Hulu. And
I think it was like I think that was why he was on that show. But I think it's interesting because I feel like with him going on whenever they filmed it, he was married to Teresa at the time. So I'm guessing that.
So what happened? He married Teresa.
Yeah.
Picked her. They got married, then they got divorced, and now
3 months later. 3 months later.
And I think the Kardashians, I think I saw something I shouldn't have seen, I guess, was him flirting with Chris Brad before any announcement at least had been made about him and Teresa not being together anymore.
And is she the new Golden Bachelor? The ex-wife?
No. So Joan, this other girl who he had left, was she left. She had to leave the show because her daughter had just had a baby. She needed to go help with the baby, be the grandma. And her family needed her, so she had to leave the show. She's gorgeous. She's so she appears to be very sweet. She's very beautiful, successful, has had a very successful life. She's also a widower. She seems like she's going to be a great fit for the show. And I think she's going to find love. I mean, in my opinion, I think she's on there to find love. I don't think she's on there to like go on, get married, and get a divorce.
And I feel like sometimes, so just, you know, on Survivor, probably like people got casted, some out of modeling agencies and some actresses. So those people, you can tell like on a lot of these shows who's there to just be on TV and play it up for the camera, and who's there to actually play the game.
Yeah. And I don't fault either of those people, by the way. That's all good. Like if you go on a show just because you want to be famous, God bless. If you go on because it's your dream, God bless.
I'm just saying, like, the truth will prevail. You know what I mean? It's very hard to be somebody that you're not, I guess. So
that is true.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
A slime, you're probably right. You know, he probably is a scumbag.
Yeah. Like the I don't know. I mean, I don't know for sure if this person's a scumbag, but when I was watching it, even though I'd seen other people go through similar things, like changing their mind about who they liked, saying, I love you to something, I just felt that sincerity. Everyone saying he's so sincere was very insincere. And if you watch the live finale, the women are talking all this shit about him. And when he's saying certain stuff about being a good guy, a bunch of them roll their eyes. And it's not the same as like the other ones I've seen where it's jilted women that are rolling their eyes or people that he's given up or done something to. It's the ones that are like in the know. So like I'd watch the live again if you're interested in anything about him, because the reactions from the women that were on the show to some things that he says are like, they like nudge each other and they're like, what? And they also are like rolling their eyes at when like, oh, you're so sincere, you're so whatever. They're like cracking up or rolling their eyes. So like, I don't know if he is misunderstood because he had some maybe missteps on the show or got confused, or if he just is insincere but seems like the most sincere, kind person ever, which is sometimes you have to watch out for.
Right. Well, it's going to be interesting. We shall see.
It will. Yes. Yeah. Well, I know we've had you girls on stage for a long time. We've been on this podcast for over an hour. Are there any last thoughts that you girls have about reality TV being dead or the cast of these new shows?
My husband and I, and we really aren't even that crazy into all these reality shows. We just binged in 4 days. I was texting Rachel, House of Villains. I mean, it was the funniest train wreck I have ever seen in my life. Have you guys seen this?
So go back. Me and Fair Play did a podcast for every single episode. It's on the it's in another playlist right next to Reality Queens. You'll see there's one for House of Villains, and we did a recap of every episode. We give crazy behind the scenes details, so watch it because they didn't show a lot of things, and there's a lot of secrets that happen. So like,
I'm going to go watch.
It is so funny.
Oh.
It's such a good show. It's what the GOAT should be.
It was so good. I'm like, when is the second season of House of Villains? Like, this is hysterical. Even my husband was like, oh my gosh, I can't like not watch. Like, I can't stop watching.
I love it.
Like,
Also, it
should we
looks
do
like
another
you have
episode?
the chandelier behind you looks like you have a crown on your head. Like,
Oh my
perfect for you on
gosh,
the screen.
that's my light. That's so funny.
Yeah, Fair Play would kill me if I don't plug it. So if you go to After Show on YouTube,
Okay.
youtube.com/after show, and search for the House of Villains playlist, or even just put in Google or in the YouTube search bar House of Villains podcast, you'll see me and Fair Play doing a podcast on it where he gives crazy details. But I totally agree. I'm like, when is season 2? I love the show. Oh my God, I'm so mad I got a sweetheart edit. Like how you were saying, I got such a great edit because like I want to go be on House of Villains. It's so fun.
It does look like it does look like a really fun show, and I'm like really obsessed with it. So it's coming out in season 2. I don't know why I said it looks like. I watched all of House of Villains. I loved the first season. I can't wait until season 2. It's coming out this fall.
Okay, good. Wow, we're gonna have a lot of TV to be watching.
Yeah.
This is good.
It's a very it'll be a very exciting fall.
So again,
season.
is reality dead? The answer is no.
No.
It's just getting really started.
Yes. 100%.
Oh my gosh, I think it's bigger now than ever. I mean,
Me
it's
too.
just, there's so many streaming networks, and like you said, Amazon and this and that. I mean, YouTube,
I think
network TV. There's so many ways to watch everything. And
what people are getting paid to cast a reality show or even to be a producer or an editor is not indicative of how big an industry is. It just means there's more competition, which could mean the industry is getting even bigger.
Yeah, because Katie Gallagher, who was on Survivor, has been in casting for a long time. And I know that, I don't think she's paid. Well, it's just like our teachers, right? They're not compensated properly. And it's unfortunate because I think casting is almost 90% of it.
The casting doesn't get enough credit. Like, for example, Jersey Shore, everyone's like, and I'll give Sally Ann, and 495 Productions all the credit for coming up with a concept, but Durano Fear found every single one of those cast members, and Jersey Shore would have been a nothing burger without it cast Eggs of the Situation and JWoww, Snooki. Like, he made that show. But everyone's like, oh my God, this production company now has carte blanche to do whatever they want. They made the most popular show of like, the 2010s, but the casting people do often make the show.
They do. Yeah. So props to you.
No, 100%. I agree with you, girls. I also work in casting. So thank you.
I know. And Rachel,
thank you for your service, Rachel.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Seriously.
Well, I am gonna jet. You can find me at Rachel E. Riley Viegas on Instagram. Where can we find you, Stephanie?
Steph_LaGrosa_Kendrick on Instagram.
Perfect. And Jen, where can we find you?
I am at Jen Hoffman HI on Instagram, although I might try to wrestle back the at just plain Jen Hoffman because I don't think she's used it in a while. And I was able to get my Twitter handle at Jen Hoffman by being like, this is before they even verified people, being like, this person hasn't used it. And I'm actually like actively like on podcasting TV. I don't know. Anyway, just at Jen Hoffman HI. And hopefully maybe I'll get my regular handle back.
Right.
Perfect. Well, keep following us because we will be streaming every Thursday at around this time. We're looking into doing 12 o'clock Eastern time, and we'll be talking about reality TV business. We'll be talking about casting. We'll be talking about the cast of shows and the shows. It's the after show after all. So we will talk about that as well.
So please do us a favor. Subscribe. I know everyone says the cheesy stuff, but subscribe, hit a like if you like it, leave a comment, set notifications for it, because that helps us and helps the algorithm tell YouTube that you want us to be here and stay here. So pick one of those things and do it. And that's not like, please, I hate when people I used to be like, why do people do the please like and subscribe? But now that I know that they will actually only kind of push your show and show it like in people's searches, if people do that. Now I'm like one of those people like and subscribe, but like please do.
Well, you do need it, yeah. But actually.
Yeah, but actually, please do.
But actually. All right. Well, thank you so much, girls. It was so fun to hang out. And
Thanks,
thank you
girls.
everyone for joining us today. Bye.
Bye.
Okay.